You probably don't fit in any box, Abby. I can imagine that.
I lead our UA department, our user acquisition there.
Okay.
We're a lean and mean team of 2. I don't have time to micromanage.
No, you don't look like the type. Not at all. You're too busy being yourself. This is MobileGroove at Mal. More importantly, women in leadership. And you meet them and it's magnetic and you just have to do it. You just have to go with your feeling. That's what it's like with you, Abby Patton. I met you and it's like, yes, you have to talk with her. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. And so here you are. Of course, you're at Fetch, but you've also been at this event. I'm just wondering, to start off, I mean, what resonated with you the most?
I think sometimes being able to know what to avoid and maybe opening your mind a little bit to things being a little bit easier going can help calm you down and make you perform at a higher level whenever you're not as anxious about fitting into boxes all the time and stuff like that.
You probably don't fit in any box, Abby. I can imagine that. How do you bring that, because in the industry, they want us to be creative. They want us to be real. So I'm just curious. I mean, obviously you've got some sort of balance there. I mean, if I could do that, I would do that. That is very cool. First of all, that is brave. That is bold. Being bold in a conversation. How do you approach that?
The way that I approach being bold in a conversation is I feel like I have a secret stash of things that I can bring out because I love to read. And I love to read nonfiction. And so I feel like I can just find little areas where I can drop a piece of information that no one knows before and it goes onto a whole conversation. And it can just, relax people and let the conversation flow more easily and opens up the topics that you're able to the little alleyways you're able to go down with your conversations.
I like that because you have to find maybe not the way, but the doors that are open in your career. You're at Fetch. I mean, I don't know anything about your background.
So I've been at Fetch for almost 3 years now. I lead our UA department, our user acquisition there.
Okay.
We're a lean and mean team of 2. Before that, I worked at Shipped for 4 years, also doing user acquisition there. So I've been in the app space now for a little over 8 years. Slowly worked my way up from being the first person to bring app store marketing to Shipped to now running the whole team.
And for people who don't know it, they're not familiar, what is Fetch?
Fetch is a rewards app. So our core business model is scanning receipts and getting rewards for that you can then turn into gift cards.
Yeah.
But we also have these new verticals that we've been introducing, like rewarded gaming, online shopping for points, stuff like that.
So all of that is melding together, non-gaming and gaming, and it's all around rewards.
Yes.
It's a universal desire to accomplish or to earn. So I'm sure some of the stories that and some of the reading, that all comes together.
Yeah.
Because now you're selling a story, right?
Yeah.
It's not you're selling an app.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one thing that I love about our app in particular and the stories that it can lead to is, times are kind of tight right now, money-wise, for a lot of people. And it doesn't require you to go out and spend more money that you don't have in order to get these rewards. It's stuff you're already buying. You're already buying your family groceries. You're already playing a game while you're waiting for your child and pickup.
Yeah.
And it's just little ways that you're able to get a little $50 gift card that you can maybe just enjoy something instead of having to pinch pennies all the time. So it's nice to be able to have those stories and use those as value props in marketing, but also just as ways to push me forward and know that Fetch is doing something good for the people.
So UA is interesting because it's shifting so much as well. It's changing because the value proposition there used to be acquire a user. That's what it's all about. But now it's very much about you have to be more broad. You have to be a little bit of sort of life cycle is built in there. Maybe not entirely what you expected UA to be, but it's evolving to be that.
Pivoting from in UA, I feel in both roles I've done, it's been very CPA model based, because we're kind of just worried about getting that user in.
Right.
But pivoting towards more ROAS and LTV so that we understand this channel is maybe really cheap at getting a user in, but then they we never see them again.
They churn.
Yeah.
Gone.
Maybe
Yeah.
this user was kind of like 1.5 times as expensive to get, but they hit LTV in like a month. And so stuff like that is being able to pivot and move away from what I'm comfortable with and towards something that's a little bit newer for us has been proving pretty good for us.
You have a team of 2.
Yeah.
So it's lean and mean, but at the same time, it's so important for your company. So I'm just curious how you balance sort of that coaching, that small team with the big impact and making certain that, you know, you're contributing, but also you're coaching and building.
Absolutely. I think that for me, I've tried to remember, like, whenever I was in, like, for instance, my direct reports position, the kinds of things that I wanted to do and, like, the drive that I had to be able to do and, like, kind of the frustration of not having the ability to do it yet. And so trying to use that to show instead of tell my team how to do what it needs to be accomplished.
That's where your storytelling comes back.
Exactly.
All the examples, all the anecdotes.
Yeah.
Maybe taking some of the, you know, the uneasiness out of the room.
Yeah, bringing it, being able to be like, hey, I remember whenever I really wanted to achieve this same thing and I was not able to understand why I was being taught to do it this way. And instead of just telling you to do it, I'm going to show you exactly why it has to go this way, despite the fact that it maybe doesn't feel quite like how I would want to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's been helpful.
It's going to have better results than micromanaging anyway, right?
Exactly. And I don't have time to micromanage.
No, you don't look like the type. Not at all. You're too busy being yourself
Exactly.
and creating and defining your own leadership style, because you are a little bit at the beginning of your career.
Yes.
Abby, but I can see great things ahead for you. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you.